Hello and welcome to English Audio Stories. This is your place to relax and enjoy learning English through simple stories. In every video, you'll hear clear English that helps you grow your vocabulary and listening skills. So take a deep breath, listen carefully, and enjoy the story. The Mystery of the Old Lighthouse. Emma had always loved the sea, so when her cousin Jack invited her to spend the summer in his small coastal town, she accepted immediately. The place was called Sea Breeze, a quiet fishing village surrounded by cliffs and wild beaches. Jack's family lived in a white cottage near the harbor, where colorful boats rested after long days on the water. On her first afternoon, Jack suggested they take a walk along the coast. The sky was pale blue, and the salty wind carried the smell of seaweed. As they followed a narrow path, Emma saw an old lighthouse standing alone on a rocky point. Its paint was peeling, and the windows looked dusty and dark. "That's Sea Breeze Lighthouse," Jack explained. "It hasn't been used for years. People say it's dangerous to go inside." "Why?" Emma asked, curious. Jack shrugged. "No one really knows. Some say the keeper disappeared one night and was never found. Others believe strange things happen there after sunset." Emma smiled, but she felt a shiver run down her spine. From a distance, the lighthouse looked harmless, but there was something about its empty windows that made her uneasy. As they returned home, Emma couldn't stop glancing over her shoulder at the lonely tower. She didn't know it yet, but the lighthouse would soon become the center of an adventure she would never forget. The next morning, Jack had to help his father repair fishing nets, so Emma explored the cottage. In the small attic, she found dusty boxes filled with maps, shells, and old photographs. One box caught her attention because it was locked with a rusty clasp. After some effort, she managed to open it and discovered a leather-bound journal. The first page read, "Property of Thomas Gray, Lighthouse Keeper, 1964. Emma's heart beat faster as she turned the fragile pages. Most entries described weather conditions and ship movements, but the last few were different. The handwriting had become shaky, and the words were harder to read. June 14th. The light flickered again last night. I think someone was in the tower. June 16th. I heard footsteps on the stairs, but I was alone. I must be losing my mind. The final entry was even stranger. June 20th. If anyone finds this, beware the man in the black coat. Emma closed the journal slowly. The words felt like a warning from the past. Who was the man in the black coat? And what had happened to Thomas Gray after that last entry? When Jack came back, she showed him the journal. He frowned. "I've never heard about this before. Maybe it's just an old story." But Emma wasn't so sure. She could feel that the lighthouse was hiding something, and the journal might be the first clue to finding out the truth. 2 days later, Emma convinced Jack to walk with her toward the lighthouse. The morning was cloudy, and the sea was restless, sending white foam against the rocks. The narrow path they had taken before now felt more mysterious, almost like it was leading them into another world. As they approached, Emma noticed details she hadn't seen from a distance. The lighthouse door was slightly crooked, its paint chipped away by years of storms. A heavy chain hung across it, but the padlock was broken. Jack stopped a few steps away. "We really shouldn't go in," he said quietly. "I just want to look around outside," Emma replied, though she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She walked slowly around the tower, running her hand along the rough stone. On the far side, half hidden by weeds, she saw another small wooden door lower to the ground. It looked like it led to a storage room or basement. Bending down, she tried the handle. It didn't move, but the wood felt soft, as if it might break with a little force. Jack shook his head. "You're starting to act like this is some kind of treasure hunt." "Maybe it is," Emma said with a small smile. But when she looked up at the dark windows above them, her smile faded. There was an uneasy stillness, as if the lighthouse itself was watching them. They decided to leave before the tide came in, but Emma knew she would return. Something in that tower was calling to her, and she intended to find out what it was. The following afternoon, Jack was busy again, so Emma returned to the lighthouse alone. The sky was gray, and a thin mist hung over the cliffs. She carried a small flashlight in her pocket, just in case. When she reached the main door, she noticed the broken padlock was gone. In its place hung a newer one, shiny and strong. Someone had been here recently. Curious, she walked around to the smaller wooden door she had seen before. The wood was still soft, and with a careful push, it cracked open. Inside, a narrow set of stone steps led upward into darkness. The air smelled of salt and damp earth. She climbed slowly, her flashlight revealing walls covered in faded markings, numbers, arrows, and symbols she didn't understand. At the top of the stairs, she reached a round room with dusty furniture, a table, a chair, and an oil lamp. On the table lay another object, a brass key, old but polished. Emma picked it up, wondering what it might unlock. That's when she noticed something else. A coat hanging on the wall. It was long, black, and heavy, just like the one described in Thomas Gray's final journal entry. A sudden chill passed through her. Whoever owned that coat might still be around. And if the journal was right, meeting him might be dangerous. Emma slipped the key into her pocket and backed toward the stairs, her mind racing. She had found something important, but now she needed to get out before anyone came back. Emma ran down the steps, her heart pounding. Outside, the mist had thickened, blurring the view of the sea. She hurried back along the path toward the village, but halfway there she saw a figure ahead. The man wore a long black coat. He stopped when he noticed her. "Looking for something?" His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Emma hesitated, then held up the journal. "I found this in my cousin's attic. It belonged to Thomas Gray. You were mentioned in it." The man's expression changed. "Thomas was my father," he said slowly. "He wasn't crazy, no matter what people say. He found something valuable hidden in the lighthouse, gold coins from a shipwreck. Others wanted it, and they made him disappear. I've been protecting what's left ever since." Emma took out the brass key. "This must be part of it." He nodded. "It opens a box under the floor in the keeper's room, but if you're smart, you'll forget you ever saw it." Before Emma could reply, he turned and walked into the fog, vanishing as quickly as he had appeared. That evening, Emma told Jack everything. They agreed to keep the secret, though part of her wanted to return and see the treasure for herself. She didn't know if the man in the black coat could be trusted, but she understood why the lighthouse still stood silent, guarding its hidden past. And deep inside, she knew this was not the end of the mystery. Great job! You listened to the whole story in English. The more you listen, the better you get. So keep going and come back for more. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.